We got some major updates in the Jonathan Kuminga injury saga. You won't believe the shocking conspiracy that's going around. Plus, Steve Kerr reveals when we can expect to see both Kuminga and Podziemski back in action. And Steph Curry is set to hit an unimaginable milestone in the Warriors' next game. In today's video, I'm going to break down all the implications this has on the Warriors' quest to climb in the playoff standings and why Thursday's game against the Kings will have the whole world watching. But before we get into that, hit subscribe right now. As you can see in our little handy dandy graph here, less than 30% of you watching right now are subscribed. So if you want to be the first to know the latest Warriors news and commentary from myself, Arthur Ballesteros, new to Warriors Digest here, and Randy Silver, hit subscribe right now so you don't miss a thing, because it's getting wild here as the Warriors approach the stretch run of the season. If you hear that baby screaming in the background, the baby's telling you to hit subscribe. Stop playing around. What are you doing? So before we get into that Kuminga injury update, we have to go over what an incredible performance the Warriors had last night. Let's take a look at this box score here, because it's truly a strength in numbers when the bench was on fire, led by GP2. Absolutely unstoppable, gave some incredible plays. That put back, which had the whole bench laughing at the end. He ended up dropping a career high 26 points. He was incredibly efficient, going 11 of 16 shooting, hit 4 threes. And it wasn't just the scoring. He energized the whole team as the Blazers kept trying to make a push to keep things close there. It was really the bench led by GP2, Buddy Hield, Quinten Post making some really dynamic plays in the low post there, getting 4 blocks. They were really the heartbeat of the team last night. Buddy, I have gone on record. He is my least favorite Warrior. He's been so streaky, but this is why you have Buddy Hield around. He caught fire last night. He's had some really down games, I think going 0 for 8 a few games ago, but he ended up hitting 6 threes. He finished the night with 20.7 assists, which is wild because you rarely ever see him pass. He also had a team best plus 16 in the plus or minus column there, and just showing how crucial he was to keeping the momentum going. And then how do you go this far into the video without talking about Jimmy Butler's triple-double? It was the Warriors' first triple-double of the season. He scored 15 points. He got 10 boards, 10 assists, also added 3 steals. Sometimes when you look at the box score here, this is finally like a box score game for Jimmy. But if you're just following and tracking the box scores and not watching the games, you may miss really what Jimmy is contributing to this team. So it was good to see the numbers kind of reflect that. He's still really kind of not being really aggressive offensively, but he's doing what it takes to help the team win, getting involved in every way. Also lockdown defense as well. And without, it needs to be said, the bench, phenomenal last night. They outscored Portland's bench 56-23. And a special shout out to Moses Moody, who was starting. He had 20 points, 7 of 10 shooting. He did that without committing a single turnover or a single foul. Also didn't have an assist, but, you can't win them all. But the Warriors, this is my favorite stat of the year. The Warriors now 14-1 when Moses Moody is starting. And Steph, he chipped in 24 points, although he did kind of, have a tough time handling the ball. He had 4 turnovers, only 3 assists. But defensively, the Warriors struggled a little bit. They gave up 120 points. They're dealing with some turnover issues. I think the first half, they only had 4 turnovers, ended up with 17 for the game. Guy Santos kind of playing uncharacteristically, just not as well as we've seen. He scored 15 points a few nights ago. He just kind of had a little bit of a rough night, but he was still bringing the energy, diving, fighting for the ball. But he did start to get in some foul trouble, which kind of had, he had to clamp up a little bit there. But the Warriors really need to tighten up here when they look to this critical stretch of games ahead. But before we get to that, latest power rankings are out, and the Warriors 5th in the NBA.com power rankings, which is wild when you consider where this team was just a month ago. But when we look ahead to, the 5 matchups that are remaining on the homestand. You got the Kings on Thursday. It's time to put some separation, even more separation between us and the Kings, just kind of put them to bed. And all eyes are going to be on Steph as he's only 2 threes away from hitting 4,000 for his career. He will get that in this game against the Kings. Steph was, you could tell in the Blazers game, he was really trying to get that record late. He was chucking them up, but I think he, missed his last 4 in a row. He was really trying to put it to bed, but it's going to carry on. The narrative is going to get talked about even more as we go into this game against Sacramento. So it's going to be much must-watch TV. Then, of course, you've got the Knicks on Saturday. Let's go for that season sweep against one of the top teams in the East. Going to be a little bit easier with Jalen Brunson. He's out with that ankle injury, but what an exciting game. The last game against the Knicks. It was really kind of the defining moment for the Warriors so far in the Jimmy Butler era. And then this is the only loss that I see on the rest of this homestand here. You've got the Nuggets next Monday. The Warriors have lost 8 straight matchups against Denver going back to 2022. Jokic, obviously on fire, putting up another MVP caliber season. He had that 30-20-20 game the other night. He is just rolling, so we'll see if the Warriors can get over the hump there. And then you got the tough back-to-back with the Bucks coming into town on Tuesday, but you got a great chance to go for the season sweep against them. And then you close out with the Raptors on Thursday. You can't fall for the trap game. Don't lose the momentum here. So far, 2-0 on the homestand. Let me know in the comments what you think their record will be at the end of this 7-game homestand. I think going into it, I had them at 5-2 with losses against the Nuggets and against the Bucks in that back-to-back. I'm changing my mind. I'm saying 6-1. They're going to lose to Denver, but I don't think there's any way you see a squad like this lose 2 in a row. So I'm now placing them with a win against the Bucks. And, when we look at the overall standings here, the Warriors are having some trouble gaining ground against the Rockets and the Grizzlies. They're both on 3-game winning streaks. They need to start losing. Please, can you just lose so we can get up here into at least this 5th spot. And remember now, with 17 games left in the season, if the Warriors go 13-4 during this last stretch, they're going to hit that 50-win mark, which is wild considering that they were below 500 just a month ago. Now, for this critical update on what's going on with Podziemski, what's going on with Kuminga, we did get some news from Anthony Slater. This is from Steve Kerr. He said that he's hopeful that both Kuminga and Podziemski will return later this week. I'm looking everywhere on the internet, and I'm starting to see a real sentiment that this is by design, that the Warriors are holding Kuminga out with this ankle injury on purpose in order to hold and tank his value so that they can re-sign him in the offseason for less money. This started to really gain traction on Warriors Reddit. I'm seeing it all over Twitter. It's also being talked about nonstop here in Bay Area media that the Warriors are doing this on purpose, which I call BS on. This is a classy organization, one of the top organizations in sports. There is no way that the Warriors organization would do this to a player of Kuminga's caliber or any player. And then hold everything right now. We just got a major breaking news update from Anthony Slater. Just tweeted out, Jonathan Kuminga is expected to return Thursday against the Kings per his sources. Kuminga will be going through the necessary final checkpoints, including tomorrow's practice, but the current plan is for his 31-game absence to end as the Warriors prep for the playoff push. This is breaking news and hopefully finally puts an end to this wild conspiracy that the Warriors have been purposely holding Kuminga out. Put it to bed, and now we can focus on getting Kuminga back on the floor. It's going to be really interesting as the Warriors are going to have to try to find a way to reacclimate Kuminga, to get him back into game shape and integrate him into this team that is just firing on all cylinders. It's just incredible to see what they've been able to do without one of their top players. I mean, when you look at what Kuminga has done this year, almost 17 points a game, just the defensive intensity that he brings, the ability that he has to slash to the rim, he just adds so much to this team, and it's going to be so fun to watch him coming off the bench, just being another spark plug. We got a team full of spark plugs right now. Guy Santos, Gary Payton, Kuminga coming back. You got Podziemski, who should hopefully be coming back from that injury here. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Peace.